can you filter those dangers to
Not
children
all of them.
online?
Absolutely not.
You can't.
Not
So you
all
can't
of them.
address them, Stephen.
We've never tried to suggest that a filtering, whether it be home-based or ISP, can deal with peer-to-peer. I keep hearing this argument day in, day out. It will never do this. We've never said it would.
Shall I jump in there, Stephen, and say that we're talking about technologies here, and people keep saying peer-to-peer, and it's as if some people think that technology can never move. There are technologies beginning to emerge which can work in the peer-to-peer environment.
Mark, I know that your ISP, Internode, has refused to take part in the government's trials. Do you think what the government wants to do is possible?
Yes, it is possible. What you end up with is something that I think most ordinary people probably wouldn't consider to be standard internet access anymore. What you end up with is something that I think most ordinary people probably wouldn't consider to be standard internet access anymore.
I'm still unclear about whether it works or whether it doesn't work as a system. Now, you're saying it works, Anthony, from your experience, that you can do it. Mark, do you think you can do it?
The only thing that the government's policy is targeted towards is individual web pages. This is ACMA maintaining a blacklist of web pages that Australians aren't allowed to see. About 60% of the traffic that travels across the internet is peer-to-peer. Web is somewhere around 20% at the moment. The notion that you can actually achieve something useful by targeting this government policy, which is apparently so important that we need to spend a year and a half debating it, and still not come with an answer.
But does mandatory filtering work? That's what I want to know. Can you make it work?
No.
Why?
No. If everyone who has a job, like an office job in Australia, will have access to a virtual private network that they use to get back to their office network. Virtual private networks aren't just used in order to get back to your office network so that you can work from home. There are virtual private network providers all over the world. Anyone can acquire access to them. And using a virtual private network, you can tunnel through any restrictions that any particular national government chooses to erect. The notion that this policy can work really comes back down to whether or not Australians will consent to it working. Because if Australians attempt to bypass it, they will be successful.